Hi guys, Barry here. So this is going to be the update, second part for our predator-proof chicken setup here in the south of Ireland in Cork. So it's a dark and kind of dreary November afternoon, and we finally got our chickens. They arrived. They seem absolutely delighted with the place. And are nice and safe inside the pen here, and have a nice coop and all that. So they seem to be delighted with life. So just a bit of why we decided to build this setup here. Like it's a pen with a coop. It's about 16 foot by 24 foot in size. So we have that little space that we can leave the chickens in during the day. Like our goal is to free range the chickens here in the garden and get them do some work like clearing beds. I have a polytunnel that's being set up. We're going to use them to clear out the polytunnel. But it was important for us. It was important for us that we had a safe area that we could put the chickens in during the day, because if we're not here during the day and they're free ranging, we just felt that they would be at risk of predators. And also we have two dogs here that we're training at the moment to be friends with the chickens and not eat the chickens. I suppose it's a natural behaviour for dogs to want to eat chickens, so it just gives us that space and that place that we can put them in and know that they're going to be secure. Because as well, like if you go away, I suppose for us, if we're away at the weekend or something like that, especially come the summer, we just know that we can put the chickens in here and that they are going to be relatively safe from foxes mainly, which is the number one predator. We've had a lot of people telling me about their chicken flocks getting devastated again and again with foxes. And we're in the country here. I have seen a few foxes on the roads around here as I've been driving, but also in this garden I have noticed there's a lot of rabbit droppings and things like that, so that's a good sign that there are other small furries around the place. So I'm not too sure. I've never seen an actual fox in this garden yet, but I want somewhere for them to be safe, Another reason as well for creating this pen is that I'm going to put a deep litter mulch in there, and I'm going to use this chicken enclosure to create some compost with the help of the chickens. So I'll be able to compost in situ as well. I've seen some amazing designs online, people using their chickens to create up to a yard of compost or a metre square of compost a week, and for any small garden or any size garden or farm, like compost is amazing thing to be producing, just as important as anything else, to be producing your own compost and high quality compost, especially with the chickens here now, and knowing that they're going to be free range in the garden. They're going to be producing some high quality manure, which in turn will create some high quality compost. So let's take a quick look now at some of the features that we put in this chicken enclosure. If anyone has any tips around chickens or thinks that we could have done something better or different, please post them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to receive any comments like that. So post away, guys. So here's the fencing that we attached to these railway sleepers, as you might have seen in the last video, and if you didn't see the last video, I'll put a link in the description. You can go check that out. So we have a couple of layers of fence. So we have the bottom layer, the bottom layer goes about 16 inches down into the ground, and it comes across the ground as well and is buried in, covered by soil. So that's the first section, and as you can see, we tied that to the other fencing here, which the other green fence is installed on the inside. That comes up approximately 4 foot, and then is followed by this welded box wire. It's 1 inch box wire welded, and we have this then tied in place, and they're all stretched tight and nailed to the railway sleepers. So that comes up to about nearly 6 foot from the ground level. And here's our entrance. I just put some decking here as well. This goes down into the ground, the decking. The fence goes down beyond the decking on the other side. And I installed a gate. And I made sure the gate was wide enough that I could easily get in with my wheelbarrow. And I put a lock here on the top. And we have another lock here on the bottom. My brother actually kept some chickens in Leitrim, so not far from here. Well, about 4 hours drive from here. And he had an issue with a fox. So he had the lock here in the centre, which was great, until the fox was able to pull on the end of the gate and squeeze his way in. So from his advice, I decided to put the 2 locks on, which just makes that gate secure. There's nothing getting in. It's nice and tight. There's no big gaps. I have a timber on the inside as well, so you can't actually see in. And we try to get into the coop now, but the chickens love to run out. They've been free ranging there the last few days, so as soon as I open the gate, they're not too bad. They seem a bit distracted. So as you can see, we have another timber here on the inside to stop anything from getting in. So the coop itself is made, pretty much all the actual materials that we made it out of were recycled from what we had here. We used some pallet wood, some old fencing, old picket fencing, old decking. The roof was repurposed roof cladding. There was a few sheets of that lying around, so everything except for the locks and latches were repurposed. The back door is made out of plywood. It's pretty secure, like there's no holes or anything like that, except for the air ducts or the air vents that we left here near the top. We have one on each side, just with a bit of mesh there then, so nothing can actually get in. The back is made again out of roofing cladding that we had. We actually ran out of timber, and I was like, didn't know what I was going to use, and seen a piece of roofing cladding that we had, so we were able to use that. There's like some decking in here, so like these things don't have to be expensive, like they can be as cheap as possible, just use a bit of imagination. Pallets like would be another great thing you could make something like this out of, keep it nice and simple. And this is the entrance into the coop. So we have it here, it's up off the ground, so they're jungle birds, chickens, so they don't like to be down on the ground. So I heard a lot of stories as well, from 2 different people about having sliding doors going into the coop and predators coming in, like foxes especially. They're very smart, being able to slide up the doors and get into their coop. So I wanted something strong and secure. So not only do I have the sliding door, but I also have this spring-loaded chicken ladder that lets them go in, and it's on a hinge. So this is just a piece of old pallet here with branches screwed onto it. So it acts as a ladder and as a secondary door for the coop itself. And then we have the sliding door, which I have rebedded, made it out of some timber, and I have a little slot here, down here, that slots in at the end, so it's pretty solid, and it'll be pretty hard for an animal to get in. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to open the spring lock in the first place, but if they did somehow manage it, it's going to be near impossible for them to get into the coop, because we want these little chickens as safe as possible and laying as many eggs as they can. They just love pecking my boot, so I'll give you a look. I'll give you a look at the back. So we have the access here at the back to clean the inside of the coop. We have 2 spring-loaded locks, which I need to use 2 hands to open, so I don't think any predator is going to be getting in to the back of the coop. So we have our access into the coop. I have 4 nest boxes, and for roosting bars, then again, we decided we just use some branches for roosting bars from the tree to make it to try to simulate, like trees and stuff for the chickens. So or everything as well can come out. So the nesting boxes, we just made them out of timber again. They can be slid in. We're using straw as a bedding. You know, there's anything, you could use whatever you want really. You could use shredded newspaper, wood shavings, wood chips, but we had a bale of straw, so we said we'd use that. The last thing here then is our water drinker for the chickens. You know, a lot of people were talking about water drinkers to us, and how the chickens keep knocking them over and get filled up with chicken dirt and chicken dung and all that kind of stuff. So he said we'd go with one of these nipple drinkers. So it's I think it's a 10 or 15 litre bucket, and it's got these little attachments here at the end. And the chickens love it. You know, I wasn't sure if they were going to get how to use it, but they had it straight away. They come up, they peck the little nipple at the end, and it gives them a clean supply of water, and you know, it can't get contaminated. So it's great, better for the chickens' health. I do have a drinker inside the coop for at night, and it does get pretty dirty, like, you know, so it is good to have a clean supply of water outside here that can be just left out and filled up, and I'm not filling it all the time. And the last thing as well, something I wasn't even too conscious of or aware of, is having a little bucket of grit. So when chickens eat, if they're going to be breaking down things like, oh, there's chickens pecking at the camera, if they're going to be breaking down seeds, whole seeds and things like that, it is important that they do have access to some grit, just because that's what they use to break it down. They've got like a little gland in their throat where they store the grit, and the grit is used to crush seeds and whatever they're going to be eating that's a bit tougher. So So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. It really helps the channel, and enjoy. I don't think the chickens realise I'm trying to demonstrate the chicken door. They're like, what are you doing locking up my coop? Move along, go! Oh. So here we have the front of the chickens are attacking me and pecking my ass. So here we have the front of the